Smart moves coming in there. ITC seeing gains of a little over 2%. Godfrey Phillip has cooled off from the day's highest levels, but still trading in the positive. And this is on the back of the note that BNK Securities has come up with, where they are saying that as per their channel checks, ITC has effected a steep price hike across some categories. And this hike would actually negate the excise impact, which would actually add to the EBIT per stick as well. In fact, the hike negates the overall, they're expecting overall better than expected increases are likely to be around 50% of ITC's portfolio, and the overall profitability drop is something which may be mitigated. That's the reason why we're seeing some strong moves on both these counters. Rajesh, any view in terms of charts with regards to ITC and Godfrey Phillip?
So both stock have corrected significantly in last couple of weeks, and the way stock was in oversold trajectory, ITC as well as Godfrey both. Some recovery trade is taking place. ITC is now trying to hold about 20-day moving average, which is placed at around 319 level. So if it's able to defend this level for next couple of days, some more buying interest we may see in this counter. But on the higher side, 340 is major supply zone for the counter. Until unless ITC not able to take out 340, we may see some consolidation in range only. 310 to 340 would be the range for ITC. If I analyze the Godfrey, again, stock was in oversold trajectory. Some recovery trade has been taken out, played out, but still 2200 is the major supply zone. Until the stock not crosses those level, we may see same kind of consolidation here also. 2000 to 2200 would be the range for consolidation for next couple of days.
That's the view for that. But Ola Electric, let's point that stock out of for last two trading sessions. Sell-off is there, and today a big double downgrade also coming in from the broking house, and the concerns are definitely there on the company losing its market share and a weak set of numbers as well. Concerns are there, but technically now, what are the key stop losses to look like? Will it, come below that 25, 24 mark now, Rajesh?
Series of low top, lower bottom formation is taking place on the weekly, monthly, daily. All time frames are suggesting that there is a weakness in this counter. There is no sign of recovery in this counter. Whatever minor recovery which we have observed in this counter are sold off. So it's so a lot of investor have lost their money in this counter. My advice would be avoid at this juncture. Maybe we could see further more lower level. Even despite of so much of bearish level, I think there is no buyer interest in this counter. So 24, 25 would be the next level. Until the stock not crosses above 40 level, I think there won't be any kind of buyer interest will return back to this counter.
That's the view coming in for Ola Electric. But another counter on the brokerage specific note is K Fintech as well. To give us more details, Varsha is joining us. Hi Varsha, what's the entire thing about K Fintech?
Well, Kotak has maintained ad when it comes to
Bunny successful mutual fund distributor with NJ Wealth, one of India's largest mutual fund distributors. NJ Wealth के पास 49,000 से भी ज्यादा म्यूचुअल फंड डिस्ट्रीब्यूटर्स का बड़ा नेटवर्क है और 30+ इयर्स का रिच एक्सपीरियंस है। यहाँ आपके और आपके क्लाइंट्स के लिए 100% डिजिटल और सिक्योर्ड प्लेटफॉर्म है। इसके साथ ही आपको मिलता है अपने बिजनेस डेवलपमेंट के लिए एक डेडिकेटेड रिलेशनशिप एग्जीक्यूटिव के साथ सेल्स, मार्केटिंग, टेक्नोलॉजी, ट्रेनिंग एंड बैक ऑफिस सपोर्ट। आज ही NJ Wealth से जुड़े और अपना सक्सेसफुल म्यूचुअल फंड डिस्ट्रीब्यूशन बिजनेस शुरू करें।
Visit www.njwealthpartner.in or call 635992200.
Mutual fund investments are subject to market risks. Read all scheme-related documents carefully.
Traders look at the big picture. Analyze, plan, trade, all from Sahi Charts. Zero noise, total control. With Sahi Charts, executing orders in milliseconds. All built in-house. Presenting Sahi Trading on the web. The big picture of high-performance trading.
Investment in securities market is subject to market risk. Read all the related documents carefully before investing.
or registers like K-Fintech also. But I think CDSL is a good bet comparatively, where we can see a much better growth from here. And talking about asset management, of course, their margins are in pressure currently because last SEBI regulation which came out, that is the margin will be in pressure. But I think the AUM growth will be there over the time. So yes, asset management may give you a steady growth comparatively. So my take is that better to go with asset management and then depositors like CDSL. I think there where the structure growth is there. Broking business, because of regulation, there will be a problem. Again, CAMS and K-Fintech, I think they will be a slow mover, even though we know the fees from mutual fund is coming. But there is a lot of pressure from the SEBI side also. So this is the take asset management first and then depositors.
Okay, so that's the word coming in for a K-Fintech. But let's look at a Cochin Shipyard. Strong moves because the company has been declared L1 bidder for a 5,000 crore Indian Navy survey vessel contract, and they will be constructing 5 next-gen survey vessels for Indian Navy. In fact, the final contract award is subject to formalities and clearances. But this L1 status actually signals some strong confidence from defense authorities, which will add revenue visibility from a longer-term perspective. 4.5% up move coming in on this one. Tapan, your view on a Cochin Shipyard?
We're talking about Cochin Shipyard. The valuation is little bit stretched still because one of the reason is their execution is there is a laggard. So at this level, I still feel it will take some time. Of course, it has come up little bit, but it may consolidate from here. See, the problem is the execution delay is a major risk for this company. Again, all the PSU clients are there. So working capital is in a problem. Shipbuilding margins also, it's quite volatile. And defense ship order book is quite good. But if you want to take, I think GREC is a much better company if someone wants to go at defense level, because there I can see the margin pressure is less and contracts are also good and execution is much better. So Cochin Shipyard, I think it will take some time. If you want to buy, I think maybe 10-15% down, one can buy it.
Keeping the defense discussion on, Tapan, my query is definitely going to be on the France and India's bilateral talks, which are expected to definitely going to be on the France and India's bilateral talks, which are expected to start from today, post-market hours. Maybe some announcements also come in. How do you see HL, BL, these kind of stocks as well? And of course, we did speak about shipyard stocks, and Mazagon Dock is the street favorite as well. Your views on this entire setup and what lies ahead now?
Sishad, we know it's a long-term trend, and it's a mega trend, so no doubt about it. Again, the contracts which all these companies are having almost 3x, 4x of their total turnover. So overall order book is not a problem. The only problem which last time even we felt about the HL, the execution is a problem. Even we know that for the future fighter jet also their name was taken out. So that is a problem because if you are not executing the way the order book is expanding, I think they have to work on their capacity and how they are going to execute and their efficiency. Now when we talk about all these companies, I think BL is comparatively doing well on this part. They are working all well on the execution. Even if you see the margin improvement is slowly and gradually coming. So yes, if I want to take, I think BL is one of the top pick. Then HL, I think they have to work it still. Let's see. But the valuation is okay. One can get into it. And Mazagon, of course, they are also, if you see from last 2 quarters, one of losses they were booking. This time they have not booked, but they told that in future there will not be such a big loss, means one-off losses, and execution will improve. So slowly and gradually Mazagon is also improving. But yes, this will be there. BL will be the first one. I think one can think about it.
That's with regards to the defense pact. Now, all of us have been talking about all the FTAs that India has been signing with regions across and the kind of benefits that will pour in for India as a region, corporates in the Indian, mind space as well. But now with the India-EU FTA, that could be actually troubles brewing for Sula because it could sharply cut duties on European wines. This move will actually probably reshape the premium market where Sula makes most of its money. competition is set to intensify, and the hit comes at a time when earnings are already under pressure. Though the stock is at the day's highest levels right now, but let me head across to my colleague Ridhima, who joins us with the full breakdown of what that impact could actually look like. Ridhima, what do you have for us?
So Sula Vineyards could see a disruption after EU FTA comes in place because the tariffs will be slashed from 150% to 75% on entry, and further 20 to 30% reduction could be seen. Now, how big is the wine market? So right now, Sula Vineyards has 40% of the market share of total 1,500 crore of wine market, and 80% of its business comes from premium category, which is priced around 750 to 2,100 rupees. Now, if we talk about imported wines, through our channel check, we found out that there are about 45 wines, imported wines, which are being sold in Mumbai, and the price range for these are 7 wines are wines under 2,000 rupees, which are direct competition for Sula, and 21 wines are between 2,000 to 3,000, and the most premium wine is around 39,000 rupees. Now, after FTA comes in place, 30% of the prices will be slashed for these wines. So now 24 wines will be under 2,000 rupees, and rest will be more than that. And if you talk about performance of Sula Vineyards over the few quarters, in terms of revenue, the revenue has been dipping for 3 straight quarters, and also the net profit. In quarter 1, it was down by 87%, similarly down 58% for quarter 2, and quarter 3, 64%. But Sula Vineyards says that it will combat the situation by distributing these imported wines, and it has already collaborated with 2 such French wines, and around 2 to 2.5% of its revenue is currently coming from these distributions. Now the question is that how will Sula Vineyard further distribute these wines and incur profit, and also an eye has to be kept on the consumers at how they react to such imported wines coming in the market.
Okay, so that's with regards to Sula Vineyards. There could be some impact that could be coming in. Tapan, your view when it comes to Sula Vineyards, because last couple of quarters have already been weak for this counter. Today, the stock is up. The FTA with EU probably will put further pressure in the premium category.
Yeah, I do agree with you, because if you see the stock is not performing even now, if you see the last EBITDA margin was 23%, which is down overall by almost, you can say, 200 BPS point. Even the wine demand is slowing down gradually. If you see the ad spend is quite high, maybe around 30 odd crores. Excise duty regulatory risk is always there. We know that whenever some state they can change the regulation, it will also have an impact. Again, the problem is the working capital is on an elevated. So that is what is bringing the interest cost on a higher side. Again, the seasonal sales volatility is there. And what you told, now the competition is coming from outside also. So all this is not actually favoring Sula Vineyard. And I think still this company will be in a pressure. So better it will be an avoid from my side.
Avoid in terms of Sula Vineyards. That's the word coming in. But thank you, Tapan, so much for joining us on the show. Always a pleasure to speak to you and get your views for all our viewers. And speaking on the sidelines of the India AI Summit, IT and Railways Minister Ashwini Vaishnav tells NDTV Profit that India's AI and deep tech sectors are set to attract $200 billion in investments over the next 2 years. That's a big number that we're talking about. And this is with global investors aggressively eyeing the space. Let's listen into what he had to say.
All these solutions are showing the potential of our youth, potential of our startups. We can easily see there's huge investment interest for India's deep tech sector.
So what's the expected investment?
We are expecting over next 2 years about $200 billion investment, both in the infra layer as well as the startups, where the deep tech startups are bringing those solutions for our for the population scale problems.
So what are the top names you're looking forward to speaking to over the next few days?
Of course, there's a long list.
A long list is what Ashwini Vaishnav is looking at, and that's what he tells Rishabh Bhatnagar of NDTV Profit. But completely out of time, but that from Sharad, the team that put the show together, and myself, it's a quick goodbye, and we will be right back. Lots more lined up on the other side on Lunchtime Trades with Shreyansi Singh. Please stay tuned.
Across innovation, economy and ethics, he is shaping technology that defines the next era of growth. Meet James Manika, at the NDTV In.AI Summit, 18 February, on the NDTV network, in partnership with Startup Policy Forum.
Ladies and gentlemen, at the NDTV Profit Conclave 2026,
this will be a $30 trillion economy in 2047.
At this moment, as Finance Minister, what's keeping you up at night?
The uncertainties from outside are still where they were.
Can we see this deal through?
We are amongst the first to start negotiating. So our deal is very holistic, comprehensive.
The reason why we wanted to bring in this little increase was more for deterrent purposes rather than for revenue purposes. I propose to raise the STT on futures to 0.05%.
अब ट्रेड के लिए दोस्तों से उधार मांगने की जरूरत नहीं है। IND मनी में 1000 रुपए से भी 5000 तक का ट्रेड पॉसिबल है। मतलब यू कैन गेट अप टू 5x मोर शेयर। और तो और आप 2000 से भी ज्यादा स्टॉक्स में से चूज कर सकते हो। प्लस इसके एडवांस चार्ट्स और इंडिकेटर्स आपके लिए मार्केट के पैटर्न्स और ट्रेंड्स को समझना बहुत सिंपल बना देते हैं, ताकि आप अपनी बाय एंड सेल स्ट्रैटेजी इजीली डिसाइड कर सको। तो अब जल्दी से अपना फ्री ट्रेडिंग अकाउंट ओपन करो, दैट टू विद 0 एनुअल मेंटेनेंस चार्जेस, ओनली ऑन द IND Money app.
Investment in the securities market is subject to market risks. Read all the related documents carefully before investing.
Alright team, our new order show is ready. Now we need a promo. Something cool, something sharp.
Well, I'm sure we'll be having outstanding reviews, solid suggestions,
Expert advice, the latest trends. It's a lot simpler. We'll help people make the right auto decision. It's got the cool stuff, geeky stuff, serious stuff, all of it, so that you can discover, decide and drive. I'm Siddharth Sharma and I am your
Range-bound day of trade on Dalal Street. Nifty manages to stay above 25,700. Sensex jumps over 240 points. IT, PSU banks lead gains. Metals lose shine while oil and gas remain on the back foot. And French president arrived in Mumbai as he kicks in his 3-day official visit. All eyes are going to be on his talks with PM Modi that will focus on AI, bilateral ties, and defense collaborations as well. Meanwhile, day 2 of the India AI Impact Summit is underway in the national capital, with the expo now open to the general public. The global lineup includes Anthropic CEO, Meta's chief AI officer. Sources, in fact, do say that Bill Gates might skip the summit. The foundation, however, clarifies and says that he will be delivering his keynote address as promised. And Infosys ramps up its AI bet, hosts its first AI Investor Day. Nandan Nilekani says AI is transforming operations. Meanwhile, CEO and MD Salil Parekh emphasizes on 6 areas which will power AI-driven growth. Also highlights rising contribution of AI when it comes to the company's revenue. And Karnataka's 1% welfare fee puts Swiggy, Zomato and Ola under fresh pressure, as these companies will now be required to contribute directly to gig worker welfare funds. Meanwhile, ITC is gaining in trade after B&K Securities says that steep price hikes offset excise impact, boosting EBIT and easing profitability concerns. Good afternoon. You're watching Lunchtime Trades with me, Shreyansi Singh, and this is the show that gets you a roundup of everything that is happening in the world of commodities, news and updates as well on the top buzzers at this hour, all while you grab lunch. But first things first, let's take a very quick look at what the markets are doing right now. It's actually Nifty that is largely range-bound in trade, just a 50-odd point uptick coming in as far as the Nifty is also concerned. When you talk about Sensex as well, similar picture by and large is what you're seeing there as well. About a 200-point uptick is what you're looking at. When it comes to the Sensex as well, when you talk about some of the key gainers, you do have stocks like Newgen Software, something like a Praj Industries that is up and away in trade. But let's also talk to you a little bit about the sectors, and we'll get a little stock specific after that. There's metals that's on the back foot. Other than that, oil and gas also on the back foot. What is doing quite well right now is perhaps the Nifty IT, Nifty PSU Bank, media, FMCG, some of those sectors that are in good shape as we speak as well. When you talk about some of the top gainers from within the Nifty 50 pack, it's actually Infosys that is betting big on AI, has highlighted in terms of the commentary coming in from the MD and CEO, the 6 areas of growth when it comes to AI. They've also ramped up their AI bet and they're holding an investor AI day, and that is something that is actually helping the stock as well. Other than that, there's an HCL Tech and Wipro. About a 2.5% odd uptick coming in for both of those counters. And you do have Adani Enterprises, Adani Ports, Tech Mahindra, ITC, TCS, some of your top gainers from within the Nifty 50 pack. What's not faring quite well right now is perhaps something like a Quality Walls, Eternal in focus on the back of that Swiggy, Eternal as well as Swiggy, in fact, in focus on the back of that Karnataka gig workers hike, where they're going to be required to be contributing to the welfare funds. And those two stocks are taking it on the chin. Heavyweight Reliance also trading with a cut of about 1%. But with that in mind, let's also move on. Take a look at the entire commodity space that has been in the spotlight and is going to be in the spotlight on the back of the economic cues that we're seeing coming in as far as the US is concerned. Of course, you do have that Tehran and Washington meeting. And that is something that is putting the spotlight very much so on gold, silver, as well as oil. In fact, let's also take the conversation forward, try and take a look at some of the key triggers when it comes to gold and silver trading under pressure right now, and oil, try and understand where the geopolitical premium right now is, whether or not it's baked into the pie. In fact, let's head across to Vandana Bharti, Head of Commodity Research, SMC Group, to try and understand the outlook for this week forward. Vandana, a very good afternoon to you. It isn't, however, a good afternoon when you talk about gold and silver.
Yeah, hi Shayashi. Yeah, it's a kind of phase where we have seen outflow in gold and silver, and China is absent here, and it is a week-long holidays in China, and margins are really high. So it is a kind of forced selling in gold and especially in silver. So this week we can witness thin trading in gold and silver across the commodities, across in all commodities, and because of that we can see some kind of further correction in the prices, because COMEX is suppressing the bullion prices wherever, like in China we have seen the premium in spot market, it is still there. It is lower now, but it is still there. So till the time China is not here, we can witness a further selling pressure in gold and silver prices. But yes, the underlying strength is already there, and this time it is not getting affected by the geopolitical premium or pressure, any kind of Iran or US war. It is all eyeing on the margins and other activities, what is happening in exchanges across the world.
No, well, absolutely, and it's been a very interesting setup, Vandana, when you're talking about gold and silver. But I quickly wanted to try and understand in terms of the near term, do you think that they're going to script a comeback, or do you think that we're going to be pretty much range bound when it comes to both of these metals?
Yeah, because when we do the comparison between gold and silver ratio, the ratio is moving towards 75:1. It means that surely silver has seen its downside, and the downside is expected to be there to some extent near $65 to $70 kind of level we can witness. But after that, we can see a bounce back in silver, because this is a commodity which is in high demand and 6th year in deficit. The supply deficit in continuation, and we have seen some kind of demand destruction in silver because of its higher price, but overall strength is there. So $65-70 is a kind of a good range, a valuable range where we can see a bounce. But yes, some correction is due in this counter, and February is very important for silver, February, March, because record deliveries. It occurs every year in comics and Shefe, every year. So this is the time when high pressure of deliveries in exchanges will be there in the month of March. And because of this we can witness a pressure in the prices of silver. So we should wait for...
That is a very fair point there. When you talk about that correction, that is something that, has been a little bit priced in. It's been a little bit talked about as well. But quickly, before we move on, I wanted to get a sense of what you think about the geopolitical premium when it comes to oil as well. Your quick take coming in on this one as well.
Yeah, Iran-US talk is going on, and we can see a limited impact on the prices of oil, because ultimately Iran is not doesn't close the Strait of Hormuz. It is the Strait of Hormuz which is the key point for this oil market. So we can see a limited upside up to $67 in crude oil prices. If some good talk happen, then the prices should slash near the level of $62. So it's a kind of a move between $62 to $67 in crude oil prices.
No, absolutely, and that just about sums it up, right? Those are the levels to keep in mind when it comes to oil as well. Vandana, quickly before we let you go, I just wanted to try and get a sense of what you think about the way forward for somebody who's already invested. What should they be doing? Whether that be through the physical commodity itself or be it through ETFs. If someone is already holding on to a little bit of gold and silver, should they wait around for this volatility to get a little bit over, or what is your outlook here?
I'll say wait and watch for get this correction over, because the dust is still yet to get the settle here. So yes, $65, $60, $70 and kind of for like 2,25,000, 2,12,000 level in silver. It is a good level where one should ETF buy. They should go for buy in silver. And for gold, yes, $4,900, $4,800. It is a very good level for accumulating silver ETF or gold ETF, in fact. And the thing is that fundamentals doesn't change. It is the margins, money pressure, and the paper market pressure. It is giving a pressure to the gold and silver prices, and the correction is for good. So whatever correction you get, just get some marginal buying from here, and those who are already invested in physical buying from higher side, they should wait. They will get their levels in a 1 year kind of level, and whenever in second half of 2026 we are expecting an interest rate cut activities there, then we will see a real hike in gold and silver prices as well, because that will depreciate dollar. It will improve the gold prices, and cut in interest rate, it will increase the industrial demand of silver.
Got it, Vandana, and those are some very good insights that would help somebody who's already invested and has already kept a few chips on the table in a very volatile market right now when it comes to gold and silver. Thank you so much for joining us this afternoon. So there you go, that's the entire outlook when it comes to gold, silver, as well as oil as well, in terms of that geopolitical premium, whether or not that has been priced in. But time now for a very quick break on the show. When we come back, more news and updates on the other side.
जिस कंपनी के बारे में सबको पता है, उसमें एंटर करने का टाइम कब का जा चुका है। इसलिए एक अच्छा ट्रेडर वो नहीं होता जो रैंडम क्लिप्स को ट्रेड करता है, बल्कि वो होता है जो क्वार्टरली रिजल्ट्स, सेक्टोरल न्यूज़, आरबीआई एंड गवर्नमेंट के डिसीजंस और फंडामेंटल एंड टेक्निकल ट्रेंड्स को डिटेल में एनालाइज करता है। फिर चाहे फार्मा सेक्टर में इनोवेशंस हो या फाइनेंशियल सेक्टर की ग्रोथ, आपके स्टॉक डिसीजंस होंगे कॉन्फिडेंट एंड बैक्ड बाय योर रिसर्च। Download Upstocks to start analyzing.
Investment in securities market are subject to market risks. Read all the related documents carefully before investing.
This music player could hold over 1,000 songs.
Well, what if I told you that one screen is all you need? 8 charts on one interface, all updating in real time. That's what you get with Fire's multi-chart layout. Chart settings ko sync karo, फिर track, compare and analyze them side by side and make trades directly from the interface. No laptop, no problem, because multi-chart layout आपके phone पे भी available है. It's easy, free and customizable to fit your investment strategy. With Fire's, it's always trading simplified.
Investment in securities market are subject to market risk. Read all the related documents carefully before investing.
Be unraveled.
Bro, nobody talks like that anymore. This is all about connected ecosystems, EVs and AI that you can use in your daily life. That's what we do on Tech 360. Real talk, real reviews, tech that you can actually use.
Tech has changed. So should your tech show.
Alright team, our new order show is ready. Now we need a promo. Something cool, something sharp.
Well, I'm sure we'll be having outstanding reviews, solid suggestions,
Expert advice, the latest trends. It's a lot simpler. We'll help people make the right auto decision. It's got the cool stuff, geeky stuff, serious stuff, all of it, so that you can discover, decide and drive. I'm Siddharth Sharma and I am your Automate.
New year. New power panel. India Market Open. Now in its boldest lineup. This is where the trends get tested and stocks get conviction.
I'll recommend a buy call on a stock only when I'm fully convinced on the stock. With a table-thumping buy.
And when the street wants the levels, he brings the chart.
Charts speak the truth, and I deliver the levels with no frills.
Parag Thakkar and Kush Bohra are now part of the morning crew with Tamanna, Neeraj and Alex. Same show, sharper voices. Every morning on India Market Open, your favorite market show just got better. On NDTV.
Welcome back. Thank you so much for staying tuned in. Well, it's time now to put the spotlight on the primary market. In fact, you do have CleanMax that is gearing up for its IPO later this month, and you're looking at a key listing from one of India's largest commercial and industrial renewable energy players right now. Strong revenue growth is something that you're seeing, rising margins and a clear focus on debt repayment. Also make this one key to watch listing. In fact, try and break down the prospects, the road ahead as well. We're joined by Kuldeep Jain, Chairman and MD at CleanMax. Mr. Jain, try and help us understand the business model in simple language. First things first.
Very simply put, CleanMax owns renewable energy power plants, and we sell the electricity so produced to corporate customers. Right, so we own renewable energy power plants, both solar and wind, and we sell the power to corporate customers. That, very simply put, is our business model. This is called CNI, standing for Commercial and Industrial Renewables, and CleanMax is India's #1 player in that space with about a 12% all India market share.
No, absolutely, Mr. Jain. Point taken there. So that's quite the market leadership that you're looking at here. But I also wanted to try and understand your fresh issue as well. The IPO includes a fresh issue of about 1,500 crore rupees. How much of this is for new capacity expansion and repayment of debt? Try and give us some color on that as well.
So about 80% of the proceeds of the primary raise are being used to repay debt, and essentially, we have a lot of funds available for continued growth of the business, and we've ensured that our net debt to EBITDA ratio already is a below industry average at around 4.7 times. Industry is closer to 5.6 times. So we are conservatively levered. We are repaying some debt, and we intend to be on the conservative side of the leverage scale within the renewable energy industry.
All right, then, got it. So, taking a leaf off of what you just said, let's also talk about what happens post this IPO debt repayment as well. What is your net debt to EBITDA going to be looking like then?
It should look broadly similar. Maybe it'll go down initially a little bit and stay at similar levels. The way we think about it in the industry is, we have long-term contracts of 23 years. These are called power purchase agreements for 23 years. And 85% of our corporate customers are credit rated AA, AAA or multinationals. So basically, we deal with the largest and best customers, corporate customers, 23-year power purchase agreement. So we do have debt for the long term. About, a typical debt tenure is about 17 years in CleanMax. And therefore, long-term average should remain about 5x, but currently it's slightly below that at about 4.6 times net debt to EBITDA.
All right, then, Mr. Jain, let's also put the spotlight on your financials then. Are you confident, in fact, of maintaining your margins? What's the outlook then on that front as well?
So what we do is renewable energy power sales. And renewable energy power sales is a 93-94% gross margin business and about a 86% EBITDA margin business, right? So once you've put up the renewable energy power plant, once you have invested the capital expenditure, you need very little, operating expenses, and therefore the margins end up being very high, and these are standard for the entire industry. Therefore, in our business, what is important to look at is what's the capital productivity. So it's not so much a margin game. Margins end up being the similar 94% gross margin for the entire industry. But the question is capital productivity. So how much do you have to invest to earn a rupee of EBITDA? This number is measured as gross block to EBITDA. So our last 3 financial years gross block to EBITDA is about 5.8x. So we have to invest essentially 5.8 rupees to earn a rupee of EBITDA. But the industry average for the listed renewable energy players who serve the government or the power distribution companies, their average is about 7.5 times. So they have to put in 7.5 rupees of capital to earn a rupee of EBITDA. We have to put in 5.8. So overall, we have 28% superior capital productivity. And that's really, the key driver to superior economics for us.
No, absolutely. So that's the entire growth roadmap as well. Thank you so much, Mr. Jain, for taking time out and joining us. So there you go. That's the entire roadmap for growth when it comes to CleanMax as well. But let's also shift focus onto Tenneco Clean that delivered a strong operational performance this quarter. You're looking at healthy revenue growth here. You're looking at a clear improvement even when it comes to the margins here, despite a one-time impact from the new labor laws. The underlying business momentum, in fact, remains quite solid, supported by some of that strong PV demand coming in, mix improvements as well. And you're also looking at a robust export pipeline here. In fact, let's also tune into a conversation that we had with Arvind Chandra, the CEO at the company, to try and understand the outlook going forward and what is also driving the confidence going ahead.
This time the Q3 numbers have been on the stronger side. Of course, we'll talk about the industry tailwinds also now because all the FTAs are signed in. But overall, the Q3 numbers, what stood out this quarter and what kind of clarity comes for Q4 now?
Yeah, so I think, first of all, thank you for having me. Always nice talking to you, as usual. So I think we had a very good quarter. Our revenues grew, value-added revenues grew 14+%. Our EBITDA actually grew faster on the mid-20s level. So we are very excited about it. Cost cutting and focus on factory optimization is part of our culture. We call it the P3, People Performance Pride. And that has been the story of this company for the last 3+ years. So from FY23 to 25, we were able to grow our EBITDA 400 basis points purely by attacking cost. And there are independent people stationed in the plants. Even as you and I are talking, there are people in the plants that are that have challenger roles that look at every aspect of cost along the P&L. And this could be raw material, conversion cost, fixed cost, commercial negotiations, indirect, SG&A, and so on. And that still continues. So that's one of the reasons while we are now busy growing our order book, which is doing really well right now, there are people in the plants that are tasked with constantly and continuously focusing on reducing our costs and our cost structure. This makes us more competitive. Now that the order books are coming in pretty high, especially export order book is coming at 20% of the overall order book, which we are very excited about. You remember in the RHP filing for the IPO, our exports at that point were only 5% of our total sales. But we are very excited that now our order book for the top line growth is happening at a 20% level of the total order book. And these these exports are coming in from all over, from Asia, US, and Europe. So we're very excited about that. So the Q3 performance notwithstanding, what we're most excited about is these new technology launches and suspension, the DaVinci DCX, also the clean air, strategic wins at a commercial truck customer, and also, as I mentioned, the previous quarter, Q2, we also made inroads into the largest, Indian.
ट्रेडिंग का पुराना व्यू लोड कब होगा?
अरे त्योहार भी निकल गए, निकालो पुराना सामान, निकालो पुराना, निकालो पुराना, निकालो पुराना सामान, निकालो पुराना, निकालो पुराना सामान,
अब ट्रेडिंग का व्यू बदलेगा। प्रेजेंटिंग सही विथ इन हाउस चार्ट्स। एनालाइज करो, एग्जीक्यूट करो एंड एक्सपीरियंस करो कंप्लीट पावर। नाउ ब्रिंग होम द बिग पिक्चर ऑफ हाई परफॉर्मेंस ट्रेडिंग।
Investment in securities market is subject to market risk. Read all the related documents carefully before investing.
सारा दिन स्क्रॉल ही करूंगा तो ट्रेड कब करूंगा? ऑप्शन मूवर्स ऑन राइज ऐप। फाइनली सुन ली हर ट्रेडर के मन की बात। एक ऐप जो दे सब कुछ एक साथ। ऑप्शन मूवर्स ऑन राइज ऐप। स्मार्ट फिल्टर्स फॉर स्मार्ट ट्रेडिंग। डाउनलोड द राइज ऐप by Motilal Oswal.
Investment in securities market are subject to market risks. Read all the related documents carefully before investing.
When we export, we're talking about exporting to third-party OEMs, customers, but also exporting back to Tenneco entities like Tenneco Europe and Tenneco US. So we think that from a labor cost arbitrage, from making India the export base for the rest of the world, this is excellent news for auto suppliers and especially for Tenneco India.
Another, there you go. That's the entire growth roadmap when it comes to something like a Tenneco Clean as well. But let's also move on. Talk to you about the IT stocks that are in good shape right now. So something like an Infosys, 3.5% uptick coming in on that one. Wipro also in good shape, and something like Tech Mahindra also about a 1.7% uptick coming in. In fact, let's tune in to some of the commentary coming in from the sidelines of the India AI Summit as well, because Tech Mahindra is betting big on its AI innovation, and that in fact is the commentary coming in. You do have NDTV Profits Rishabh Bhatnagar, who got into an interesting conversation with Nikhil Malhotra, Chief Innovation Officer, as well as Global Head of AI Tech Mahindra, where he talks about the company's latest innovations on Vision AI. Let's go across and listen in to a slice of that conversation.